You were taught that your body is made of matter, that you're a physical form moving through time, driven by thoughts and emotions, occasionally inspired, often distracted. You were told the body obeys biological laws, and reality is something that happens to you, a fixed stage, unchanging, indifferent. But that was the first lie. The Hermeticists of old would tell you something very different. They would whisper, as above, so below, as within, so without. Not as poetry, but as formula. They weren't speaking metaphorically. They meant it as law. You've always suspected there was more. In moments of stillness, just before sleep, during meditation and heartbreak or awe, you felt it. A subtle resonance, like something inside you is listening, responding, maybe even shaping what comes next. That wasn't your imagination. That was your field, your body's true vibrational field, reacting to thought like a tuning fork, echoing signals back into the grid of reality. The ancients understood what we are just beginning to remember. The body is not just physical. It's an energetic code, an antenna transmitting frequencies into the fabric of creation. Every cell in you is listening for instruction. And the instruction comes not from what you do, but from what you are. But what are you really? Not a name, not a job, not a role in society. You are a waveform, a living frequency, a container of divine information, vibrating at a rate that determines what you attract, what you repel, and what your world reflects back to you. The body, misunderstood for millennia, is the centerpiece of this design. It is the vessel of alchemical transformation. Now imagine this. What if your suffering wasn't a punishment, but a distortion in your field? What if your desires weren't selfish whims, but soul-level instructions trying to tune you to a higher signal? What if everything, the people you meet, the events that shake you, the thoughts you repeat, was nothing but an echo of your internal broadcast? You've always been transmitting. The Hermetic philosophers of ancient Egypt, Greece, and beyond knew that the material world was only one layer of reality. They called it the lowest vibration. Beyond it was energy. Beyond energy was thought. Beyond thought, frequency. And at the very core, vibration. The eternal hum, the one mind. In the Kybalion, a compilation of Hermetic teachings, the very first principle is mentalism. All is mind. This is not a motivational poster. This is physics. Everything begins as consciousness, vibrating at infinite speed, slowing into thought, slowing further into form. You are not an observer. You are a participant. You are the transmitter of your lived universe. This is where the illusion shatters. Reality doesn't happen to you. Reality flows from you, through you, around you. Reality is shaped by your frequency. And your frequency is not just your thoughts. It's your whole vibrational field, rooted in your body. The body is the bridge, not a burden. Not a mistake, a portal. Modern science is only now catching up. We've learned that atoms are mostly empty space. That observation changes outcome. That the observer effect is not a philosophical concept, but a repeatable experiment. That intention alters reality at a quantum level. Yet somehow, we still walk around like machines. But you are not a machine. You are a waveform, a frequency conductor. A living transmission of infinite energy slowed into skin and bone so you could remember who you are. And what you are is the key. Have you noticed that people with high energy seem to bend life toward them? That joy becomes contagious? That confidence shapes events like a sculptor shaping clay? That suffering compounds when you spiral into fear, and yet miracles happen when your heart opens, even for a second? That's not magic. That's resonance. You've seen it happen, you felt it, you just didn't know what it was. Now you do. The body, your body, has been speaking to you in vibration all along. Your posture, your breath, your pace, your tension, each is a signal. The universe doesn't respond to your words, it responds to your field. And your field doesn't lie. No more pretending. When you carry fear, your shoulders curl, your gut contracts, your breath shortens. And your field hums in distortion. You attract chaos, confusion, delay. When you shift into coherence, when your breath deepens, your spine aligns, your awareness softens, you tune the field. Doors open, time bends, people shift. So here's your wake-up call. If you want to manifest something new, you must become something new. Not in thought alone, but in vibration. You must activate the field through your body, because your body is the ancient code. This is where we begin. Because if the world is a mirror, and the mirror responds to frequency, then your frequency is the remote control of your reality. And your body is the dial. So now you know, your body is a tuning device. But what exactly are you tuning into? What is this field you keep hearing about? And why does it seem like so few people understand how to work with it? Because we forgot. Somewhere in history, somewhere between temples and towers, cathedrals and cities, we lost the map. The ancient ones left it behind, carved in stone, sung in chants, embedded in symbols. But we forgot how to feel it. The Hermetic sages never saw reality as solid. To them, it was a song, vibration layered upon vibration, each note influencing the whole. The emerald tablet attributed to Hermes Trismegistus whispered of this hidden order. That which is below corresponds to that which is above, and that which is above corresponds to that which is below. But what does that really mean? It means your internal state is a direct mirror of the cosmos, and the cosmos is not some distant sky. It is frequency. It is order. It is vibration. And you are part of that order, woven into it like a thread of electricity in a grand symphony of light. Your thoughts vibrate. Your emotions vibrate. Your very cells emit measurable frequency. This is not mysticism, it's biophysics. The HeartMath Institute has shown that the human heart produces a magnetic field that extends several feet beyond the body, directly impacted by your emotional state. When you feel love, gratitude, or peace, your field becomes coherent, smooth, harmonic, radiant. When you feel fear, anger, or guilt, your field becomes chaotic, erratic, dissonant, low. And here's the kicker, the world responds accordingly. Ever walked into a room and felt someone's mood before they spoke? That was their field. Ever met someone whose presence immediately made you feel safe or unsettled? That too was the field. You already know this. You've been feeling it your whole life. But no one told you that it was a language, that it was the original technology. Hermeticism did. They knew that everything vibrates. This was their second principle, the principle of vibration. Nothing rests, the Kybalion says. Everything moves, everything vibrates. And in that constant motion lies the key to creation. You are not fixed, nothing is, and that means everything is influenceable. But to influence reality, you must know your frequency. You must learn to hear your inner signal. To do that, you must unlearn the noise. Modern life is full of static, literal and energetic. Screens flicker at unnatural hertz. Fluorescent lights hum discordant notes. Music, once tuned to 432 Hz in harmony with Earth's natural resonance, is now set to 440 Hz, subtly disrupting the body's coherence. Stress becomes chronic, disconnection becomes normal, and your field begins to collapse. That's why you feel exhausted in crowds. Why constant scrolling leaves you numb. Why chasing external goals never fills the silence inside. You've been vibrating at a frequency that isn't yours. You've been entrained, pulled into someone else's song. And now it's time to return to your original frequency. In ancient India, sages spoke of Nada Brahma. The world is sound. They believed the universe was born not from light, but from tone. The Om, the primordial vibration. In Egypt, priests practiced vocal rituals that vibrated specific parts of the body, activating energy centers. In Greece, Pythagoras explored how musical intervals mirrored the harmony of the cosmos, creating what he called the music of the spheres. All of them were describing the same thing. Reality is not solid. It is sonic. It is vibrational. And when your personal field is in disharmony, your life becomes noisy, chaotic, out of sync. But when you attune, when your vibration aligns with truth, you become magnetic, aligned, awake. So how do you remember your frequency? Start with silence. Not absence of sound, but presence of self. Sit with your breath. Hear the subtle hum beneath thought. Your nervous system is an instrument, finely tuned to the subtlest shifts in energy. When you slow down, when you listen deeply, you begin to feel the vibration you forgot. Then, observe your patterns. What pulls your energy down? Who dims your light? What actions make your body tighten, your breath shorten, your field collapse? These are not random experiences. They are signs of misalignment. Each time you dishonor yourself, your frequency drops. Each time you speak a half-truth or ignore your intuition, your field fractures. And the opposite is also true. Each time you speak with love, you raise the signal. Each time you choose stillness over chaos, you strengthen your coherence. Each time you breathe deeply into your heart, even for a moment, you recalibrate your entire system. This is vibration in action. This is Hermetic wisdom made personal. Your field is not something you raise by force, it is something you restore by remembering. And once remembered, it becomes a compass. You begin to feel when someone is right for you, not by logic, but by resonance. You walk into spaces and sense if they nourish or drain. You know which decisions align with your soul, not through fear or planning, but through the hum in your bones. This is the forgotten frequency. And you are remembering it now. You are not a victim of vibration. You are a master of it, a conductor, a channel. And every thought, every emotion, every posture and breath is a note you are playing in the song of your life. So ask yourself now, what song are you singing? And what would happen, what would shift if you tuned your body, your thoughts, your emotions to the frequency of truth? Let this truth sink in. Your body is not a mistake. It is not a burden to transcend, nor a prison to escape. It is the sacred vessel through which vibration becomes real. It is your tuning fork, your antenna, your divine instrument. And yet, so many people ignore it, curse it, numb it, or abuse it, hoping to find spiritual awakening outside of the flesh. But there is no outside. The key to transformation lies within the very thing you've been taught to doubt. The Hermetic sages knew this. They saw the body not as separate from spirit, but as spirit made visible. All is mind, they said, but not just the thinking mind. The whole body is a mind, a sensor, a mirror. Every joint, every cell, every breath is part of the vibrational field through which consciousness moves. And so we ask, how do you awaken your field? Not by thinking harder, not by doing more, but by becoming aware of how you move, breathe, and hold yourself in space. Your body is ancient. It carries the wisdom of evolution, memory, and energy. It holds posture patterns shaped by trauma. It holds breath rhythms learned in fear. And it also holds the blueprint, the sacred geometry of your original frequency. You only need to learn how to activate it. Let's begin with the spine. In every ancient tradition, the spine was treated as a sacred pillar, a conduit between earth and heaven. In Egypt, the Jed pillar symbolized stability, rootedness, and resurrection. In India, the Sushumna Nadi, the central energetic channel, runs along the spine, carrying Kundalini, the serpent energy that sleeps at the base of the body. When awakened, it rises like a current, energizing the chakras and illuminating the mind. But this rising can only happen when the spine is open. That doesn't mean rigid, it means aligned, awake, energetically clear. So sit up straight, not like a soldier, but like a sovereign. Feel your tailbone rooted into the earth. Imagine your skull extending toward the sky. Let your breath lengthen. This simple shift, awareness of your posture, can immediately begin to change the way energy moves through your body. This is not theory. This is tuning. Next, the breath. Breath is vibration. It is the first sound you make, the first rhythm you know. Every inhale is expansion. Every exhale, surrender. Most people breathe shallow, high in the chest, locked in a constant state of subtle panic. This kind of breath tells your field, I'm not safe. And so the external world responds with challenge, delay, distortion. But when you slow your breath, drop it into your belly, allow it to move in waves, you signal coherence, you signal trust, and your body responds in kind. Your nervous system shifts from fight or flight into parasympathetic flow. Your cells begin to regenerate. Your thoughts soften. Your field clears. This is what the ancient yogis knew. Breath, prana, is life force. Control the breath and you control your energy. Your frequency rises not through striving, but through alignment. Then there is movement, not just exercise, not just fitness, sacred movement. Every gesture is a message to the field. In Qigong, each movement is intentional, designed to open meridians, circulate energy, and repattern the internal frequency. In ancient dance traditions, from temple rituals in India to trance dances in Africa, movement was medicine, a way to realign the body to cosmic rhythm. Even in silence, movement speaks. When you walk with confidence, the field notices. When you dance in joy, the field echoes. When you slump in sorrow, the field contracts. You already know this. You felt this. Now it's time to move with awareness, not as performance, but as vibration in motion. And what about sound? Your voice is another key. The vocal cords sit at the center of your throat chakra, your truth center. When you speak with clarity and heart, your voice harmonizes the field. When you sing, chant, or hum, you generate resonance. Ancient mantras weren't meaningless syllables. They were sonic codes, vibrating specific parts of the body, activating dormant frequencies. Try this. Hum gently and feel the vibration in your chest. Then move it to your throat, your skull, your belly. That's energy. That's alignment. That's the body remembering its true function. So what happens when posture, breath, movement, and sound all come into coherence? You become a vibrational beacon. You no longer chase experiences, they are drawn to you. You don't manifest through desperation, but through magnetic stillness. The body becomes a temple, not of religion, but of remembrance. You realize your body has been trying to speak to you all along. In pain, it says, something is misaligned. In fatigue, it says, you are disconnected. In disease, it says, you've forgotten the code. But when you listen, truly listen, it sings, it guides, it lights up. Because you're no longer forcing the field, you're tuning to it. This is not spiritual bypassing. This is not ignoring trauma or pretending everything is fine. It is the opposite. It is listening so deeply to your body that the distortions surface, the emotions release, and the energy begins to flow again. You cry, not in weakness but in cleansing. You shiver, not in fear but as electricity returns. You shake, sigh, stretch, not because you're broken but because you're rewiring. You are the circuit, you are the source, and your body is the switch. So ask yourself, how are you sitting right now? How are you breathing? What are your shoulders saying? What frequency is your field humming in this very moment? Don't judge, just listen. Then, adjust. Not from guilt, not from shame, but from remembrance. This is the body's true function. Not to survive in a broken world, but to vibrate the blueprint of a whole one. You are not here to conform to the noise. You are here to become the tuning fork of truth. You are here to resonate wholeness so clearly that everything not in resonance falls away. So let it. Let the old postures fall. Let the shallow breath release. Let the noise dissolve and stand as the key you've always been. So the body remembers, the spine speaks, the breath clears, the movement awakens. But now comes the part where the external fades and the inner world rises, the temple within. This is where the real alchemy begins. You've tuned the instrument. Now you must play the sacred music, and it begins with what you think. Not the passing chatter of the mind, but the architecture of your beliefs. The quality of your attention, the depth of your self-awareness. What is your field if not the sum total of your thoughts, emotions, and actions made manifest through vibration? Hermeticism called this the principle of correspondence. The external reflects the internal. The inner state shapes the outer world. But this is not metaphor, it's mechanics. Change the internal frequency and the field changes. Reality rearranges. But for most, this shift never lasts, because the change is attempted at the level of behavior, not belief. You try to be positive, you visualize, you journal, you affirm. But deep underneath, the old code remains, the fear, the guilt, the unworthiness, still humming in the dark like a background frequency, canceling out your light. This is why you must go deeper. This is the sacred work of inner alchemy, transmuting the heavy metals of fear, shame, and ego into the gold of presence, power, and truth. Not by rejecting the shadow, but by meeting it. You don't fix the field by avoiding the pain. You fix it by digesting the emotion, feeling it fully, allowing it to pass through the body, not to control you, but to complete its cycle. Emotion is energy in motion. When it's suppressed, it stagnates. It distorts the frequency. It calcifies into tension, illness, or misalignment. But when it's allowed to flow, without judgment, without story, it becomes clarity. The Hermetic alchemist understood this. Lead becomes gold not by force, but by process. Fire transforms, but only when applied with precision. Your emotions are your fire. Let them rise, let them speak, let them be seen. Then watch the vibration shift. Let's say you carry deep anger. Not just momentary rage, but generational weight. It lives in your jaw, your fists, your gut. You've hidden it, managed it, rationalized it. But have you felt it? Have you listened to what it needs? Try this. In a safe space, breathe into that anger. Don't feed it stories. Feel it in your belly. Move your body. Make sound. Let it rise. Then exhale and notice, beneath the anger is grief. Beneath the grief is fear. Beneath the fear is silence. And in that silence, the field clears. This is emotional alchemy, not about becoming high vibe at all times, but about owning your vibration, becoming aware of the frequencies you carry, and learning to transmute them. Not bypass, not suppress, but transform. You become the master of your field. Now pair this with mental clarity. The third Hermetic principle is vibration, but the fourth is polarity. Everything has its pair, hot and cold, light and dark, joy and sorrow. Polarity teaches that opposites are just extremes of the same thing. And that means you can shift your mental state along any spectrum. Anxiety is not static, it is energy on the lower end of focus. Shift your perception, and anxiety becomes alertness. Fear becomes readiness. Grief becomes gratitude. It is not denial, it is movement. You are the alchemist. You choose which end of the pole to stand on. How? By directing your attention. The mind is a lens, pointed at chaos, and the field follows. Pointed at coherence, and the field harmonizes. This is not toxic positivity. It is vibrational mastery. You think thousands of thoughts a day, but which ones carry weight? The ones you feel, the ones you repeat, the ones you embed into your body like mantras of identity. I'm always late. I'm not good enough. Nothing ever works out. Each one a spell, each one a signal. Now imagine flipping the code. I trust timing. I am evolving. I attract alignment. These are not just affirmations. They are frequencies. They become true when you live them, not from hope, but from alignment. Your body listens, your field adapts, and the mirror of reality begins to reflect the new code. But you must practice. Alchemy is not a one-time ritual. It is a way of living, a way of breathing, thinking, responding. Every moment is an opportunity to raise, refine, recalibrate. Here's a daily practice to begin. 1. Morning alignment. Before you check your phone, sit for 2 minutes. Breathe deep into your belly. Feel your spine align. Repeat one clear intention, not a goal, but a frequency. Today I choose clarity. Today I radiate trust. Let it vibrate through your body. 2. Emotional scan. Midday, pause and ask, what am I feeling? Not to fix it, but to feel it. Breathe into it. Place a hand on your heart or gut. Let the emotion speak. Then ask, what frequency do I choose now? 3. Field reset. Before sleep, lay flat. Imagine a wave of light scanning your body from head to toe. With each breath, release tension, thoughts, and judgments. Say aloud, I clear my field. I restore my signal. Sleep as if being tuned by the cosmos. These are not rituals of belief. They are rituals of resonance. They tune your body back into its original field. You begin to walk differently, speak differently, think differently, and reality takes notice. Because when you vibrate in truth, lies fall away. When you align with coherence, distortion cannot stay. When your inner world becomes sacred, your outer world becomes responsive. You are no longer reacting, you are orchestrating. So take a breath now, a deep one, and feel your body. This is your instrument, this is your temple, this is your altar of alchemy. It has waited lifetimes for you to remember. Now you stand at the edge of remembering. The body aligned, the breath deepened, the mind cleared, the emotions transmuted, the field vibrating. And yet, one question remains. What now? You've tasted the mystery, you've felt the resonance, you've glimpsed the architecture of reality woven through your body like an invisible thread. But knowledge without embodiment is dust in the wind. It is time to become the living code. This is the final Hermetic truth. All is vibration. All is frequency. But frequency alone does not shape reality. Conscious frequency does. Embodied truth does. This is the secret the mystics guarded, the reason ancient temples echoed with chants, the reason initiates underwent rites of passage, not to learn but to become a transmitter of law, to become a living bridge between matter and mind, to walk through the marketplace with the same sacredness you feel in the temple. You see, the final phase of Hermetic awakening is not about escape. It is not about disappearing into light. It is about returning to your life, your relationships, your responsibilities, but with a field so coherent, so aligned, so clear, that everything around you begins to shift. This is embodiment. You become the walking mirror of the law. You speak less, but every word ripples. You move with presence, and rooms recalibrate. You make choices not from fear or programming, but from frequency. And your life, your very existence, becomes a tuning fork for others. This is the forgotten path of the spiritual architect. Not to rise above the world, but to reshape it through vibration, through being. You don't preach, you don't convert, you emanate, and people feel it. They feel more themselves in your presence. They feel clearer, lighter, safer, and they don't even know why. It's not charisma, it's not charm, it's coherence. This is what happens when the body vibrates truth. You draw in opportunities, not because you're lucky, but because your frequency matches them. You let go of misaligned connections, not in bitterness, but in grace. You experience time differently because alignment compresses chaos and expands clarity. And here's the paradox. You no longer chase manifestations, yet they appear more often. Why? Because you've become the code. You're no longer trying to get something from reality. You are the signal reality responds to. You don't hustle for energy, you radiate it. You don't force outcomes, you align frequencies. This is the Hermetic state, the alchemist turned master. But mastery is not perfection, it is presence. You will still feel emotion, still make mistakes, still fall out of alignment. But now you notice, you realign, you transmute, you breathe, listen, reset. You move with the laws of vibration like a dancer moves with music, fluid, aware, awake. And slowly, the world around you starts to match your inner harmony. Your home becomes more peaceful. Your conversations deepen. Your decisions become precise. Your health strengthens. Your sleep deepens. Why? Because your field is now a frequency of safety, trust, and resonance. And people feel it, even those who don't understand it. You become the quiet revolution. No banners, no sermons, just presence, just coherence. The Hermetic masters never shouted. They whispered. They encoded. They lived in accordance with the laws, and the world bent to meet them. So now it is your turn. Let your walk be slow and rooted. Let your breath be steady and intentional. Let your spine rise like the jed, stable and divine. Let your voice carry clarity. Let your emotions be honored, felt, and transmuted. Let your thoughts be gates, not traps. Let your actions become prayers. You are no longer a seeker. You are a transmitter. A new geometry emerges from you, one of rhythm, light, breath, and silence. A new script writes itself through your choices. You are not learning the code. You are the code unfolding. So ask yourself, how does the living code walk? How does it love? How does it sleep, speak, wake, rest, create? Don't answer with words, answer with being. Because when your frequency holds truth, the field will mirror it, always. The laws of the universe are not moral. They are vibrational. They don't judge. They respond. And the moment you vibrate in alignment, the universe moves in symphony. So become the stillness others seek, the clarity they crave, the presence they've forgotten. This is the new era of manifestation, not mind games, but field resonance. You are not separate from the universe. You are the part of it, learning to remember itself. Now rise, breathe, tune, and step back into the world as the code itself. You have always known there was more, that your body was more than flesh, that reality was more than chance, that your life was meant to resonate. Now you know the truth. You are a transmitter, a tuning fork of vibration, a vessel of sacred energy designed to shape reality from the inside out. Through Hermetic wisdom, you've remembered what was always within you. The spine as pillar, the breath as signal, the emotion as energy, the mind as lens, and the field as mirror. This is your invitation, not just to understand, but to embody, to walk as the code, to vibrate in coherence, to let your life become a broadcast of clarity in a noisy world. So take this message into your bones, practice it in silence, speak it without words, live it through frequency, and when you're ready, share this awakening. Not to teach, but to transmit, because someone out there is tuning their frequency, waiting to remember, and your resonance might be the very signal they need to hear. If this resonated with you, comment below, share this message, and subscribe for more transmissions from Beyond the Veil. The field is listening, so are we.